So when an airline CFO looks at your line item, what makes the case that this is a genuine ancillary and loyalty engine, Safir, and not just a nice to have marketing spend? Longer term, do you see destination style in destination products being embedded directly into the booking flow, so the traveler is primed for the ground experience before they even check in?
Uh, yes. So let me take your first part around the CFO piece, right? So I think there's three components to what the CFO case ultimately looks like. First of all, these are merchant funded offers. So the merchants benefit from bringing in foot traffic and from being listed on this curated list of partners that the airline is actively promoting to its loyalty members. So the merchants are willing to offer very, very attractive discounts. We're talking 20, 30, 40% off your bill if you show your pass at the point of purchase, right? So that is entirely funded by the merchants, which relieves some of the cost pressure from the airline, right? Like I said, the airline pays us for the number of destinations, but they're not paying for the actual offers. That's all merchant funded. So that's a relatively new model, and I think it allows for scalability and it allows for ultimately airlines to give real value to their customers without having to pay for it, right? So, that's definitely the first component. The second is this solution is kind of at the intersection of loyalty and ancillary revenue because the model is that we create wallet passes for the airline distributes these wallet passes to their loyalty members for free. We build the merchant network so you can have a portal and it shows you in all of these cities, these are the merchants you can go to, these are the offers up ahead. All you do is you show your pass beforehand. But what we usually see and we recommend with our airline customers is offer the pass as a free trial. So you can imagine a world where, let's say, bronze tier members get a 6-month free trial. Maybe if you're a silver tier member, you get a 9-month free trial. And if you're a gold tier member, you get a year free trial, right? Now, if you've used this pass for a year, or let's say even 6 months, right? Everywhere you go, you're using this pass and you're saving real money. At the end of your 6-month trial, you've been conditioned to go to certain merchants and expect discounts. And so now you have an offer that is presented to you as a customer saying, hey, hope you've enjoyed using your free trial for the last 6 months. If you'd like to keep your pass for a full year, you can either redeem points to hang on to your pass for a whole year. And a lot of customers, if they're using miles or points as a redemption, a lot of times it doesnn feel like real money. So it's like, yeah, I got it for free because it doesn't, they don't conceptualize it the same way. And it's great for the airlines because the airlines can incentivize their members to use miles and redeem miles, particularly lower balance miles, on benefits like this, as opposed to actually using those on seats, which are more lucrative if you pay cash for the seats than if you pay miles. We all know that outstanding miles are a liability on an airline's balance sheet. So having active nudges and active reasons to actually use miles is very, very important for airlines. So this is a great way to do that. But also, if not miles, you can pay cash. And so we give some recommended price points to the different airlines of how much they should charge for this. And what's interesting is that, let's say if I said, okay, Vishal, after 6 months, if you wanted to keep your pass, pay me $75 and you can keep your pass for a whole year. Now, the CFO is really happy about this because at $75, that is 100% margin for the airline. The merchant network has already been built. Whether you're using that merchant network on a free trial or on a paid basis actually has no impact on the cost of setting up that network. The airline paid us upfront to build that network for them. So to recoup their investment and get real ROI on it, they can see a lot of free to paid upgrades. And every single upgrade carries 100% margin because there's no incremental cost to the airline for the customer to use a free pass or a paid pass. So what ultimately ends up happening is that when you actually model this out, it takes a small single digit, low single digit percentage of the whole loyalty member base to just upgrade from free to paid in order for the airline to actually see real double digit ROI on their investment here. So there is that. And then I think the third part, at the end of the day, this is a loyalty proposition. You're strengthening customer retention, you're strengthening customer engagement. All that has an impact on NPS. It reduces churn, it increases LTV. And so you can quantify that very, very tangibly, especially after you've had, let's say, a full year's worth of data. It's like, which specific loyalty members were using their pass often enough to then have a meaningful correlation in the incremental number of bookings that they made? And would we have gotten those bookings if we hadn't invested in this touch point to drive more engagement out of them, to strengthen our brand relationship with them? Maybe, maybe not. But you can actually quantify what this looks like. So that's where I feel very comfortable, is that we've designed a proposition that is very measurable, and we should be judged as either providing value or not providing value based on what you can actually deduce from the quantifiable results.